that to you. Just because I cited it, I might as well at least read you the verse. Romans 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll read you a couple verses around it so you have it. 7, because the carnal mind is enmity with God. And that's what I was talking about a minute ago. Somebody might come into this Bible study and say, boy, are they a cult? They just hold to the Bible and they believe it like it's literal. Okay? They're carnal minded. They don't have the spirit and wisdom of God. For carnal minded, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then those who are in the flesh cannot please God. Verse 9, but you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if indeed the Spirit of God dwells in you. Now, if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, he is not his. And if Christ is in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness. Okay, the meaning of that is that in Christ, your flesh is dead. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do fleshly things that are opposed to God. Okay, that's not what he's speaking about. He is saying that you are in Christ and therefore you are alive to God in Christ. The things that you do in the flesh are not being imputed to you as sin. That's 2 Corinthians 5:19. That doesn't mean that you should be doing those things if you're not to be doing those things. I'm not giving you a license there, okay? That is saying that you are not being counted for sin, because if you were, you would lose your salvation right now and it would be gone and you'd have to be saved again. You're not being imputed sin, therefore you are not being cut out of Christ. Okay, don't do those things though, because you've got to stand before the Lord. You've got to give an account for your actions on that day, and you're going to receive rewards and losses based on those things. But I'll read it again. Now think of it from that perspective, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, which is Christ, okay, the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then those who are in the flesh, meaning not in Christ, cannot please God. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. You are now in the Spirit. You are in Christ, if indeed the Spirit of God dwells in you. That happens the moment you believe the gospel, which is Ephesians 1:13 and 14. Now, if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, he is not his. And if Christ is in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness. That takes you back to Leviticus 18:5. The man who does the things of the law will live. And nobody ever in the 1450 years of the recorded law lived. They all died. And so what do they need? They need something better. They need Jesus. Not law, they need Jesus. And you come to Jesus and then you are given life. That's amazing. There are no loopholes. There's no, oops, I didn't think of that. I got to go back and rewrite Leviticus. It's all right there. Christ is the embodiment of the law. He is the fulfiller of the law. He is the ender of the law. And so when you come to Christ, you are not under law. You're in Christ. You have life. Why would you want to go back to something that causes death? Why would you want to do that? Okay? Everything fits. Everything is logical. Everything is orderly. Nothing is missed. God has done everything. Okay? So,